The rep ranges you do don't matter as much as you think. I'm sure you've seen it before where it's, 1 to 3 reps equals power, and 3 to 6 reps equals strength, and 8 to 12 reps is hypertrophy, and 12+ reps equals muscle endurance. Well, that can be a good starting point if you don't have an understanding around the rest of what actually is required in order to get the most out of those rep ranges. For example, if we're talking about power, power isn't always just 1 to 3 reps. When you're talking about plyometrics, there are many times that we're doing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way up into 20 with a certain type of plyometrics, which is called an extensive plyometrics that works on your stretch, shorten cycle and the elastic qualities of typically the ankle, versus more intensive plyometrics like broad jumps, box jumps, things like that. Typically we're in 5, 6, 7, 8 range, as long as we are working and taking enough rest period between in order to achieve maximal power output. And in terms of the load on the bar is highly important if you're referring to power as in of typical Olympic lifts or snatches or push presses or push jerks, things of that nature. The load is highly dependent or a high factor in how much reps you're going to be able to do based off of the also velocity that you are lifting the weight, which I call, your intention. Because you can do 3 reps of any exercise, but if the load and the intention isn't correct, you're not going to be getting the power development that you're looking for out of it. And in terms of power development, also, it doesn't mean that you don't gain power in other rep ranges at other loads. If you're in a more of a strength rep range or doing a couple higher or a little bit more reps, you're still going to develop the qualities of power output, technique, muscular coordination, strength, rate of force development while doing those other rep ranges and other exercises. And at the same time, if you're doing a back squat at 20% load, but your intention isn't moving as fast as possible, you are not going to be getting the stimulus needed in order to develop your power overall. That's why the percentages and intention, or load and intention, matter so much with what you're doing. In terms of strength, 3 to 6, typically, that's a good marker. But again, if you're working at a suboptimal load, say 50, 60% for that low of volume, you are not going to reach a high enough threshold of motor unit recruitment, of actual trying to challenge yourself and progressively overloading the body in order to see the strength gains that you're looking for. Typically with strength, you need to be around 85% or slightly higher, maybe a little bit lower within that 3 to 6 rep range to elicit the strength response and adaptations that you're looking for. With power, I know I'm backtracking a little bit, it's highly dependent. Exercise selection also becomes a huge factor, as a power clean or hang power clean or clean from blocks all have different percentages that you are going to be able to achieve the peak power output, meaning that the maximal amount of load on the body and that load on the bar plus the velocity that you're able to actually get with that, compared to say something like a trap bar jump or a barbell squat jump. That load is going to need to be a lot lower, down into the 20 and 30% to maximize the velocity and load side of things in order to achieve peak power output. In terms of hypertrophy, there's been plenty of studies that have shown as long as volume is equated, even doing strength-focused work, if volume's equated, you're still going to build as much muscle as possible. That's why Brian Shaw and these strongmen have built a ton of muscle, is because their volume is still high, even though they're working in a strength percentage. And the same thing when it comes to muscular endurance. It's not purely muscular endurance. There are a ton of bodybuilders out there that take things till failure and do 20, 30 reps because it gives a more metabolic fatiguing effect, which can contribute to your overall hypertrophy. So rather than think 1 to 3 reps this, 3 to 6 reps this, see it more of on a continuum, right, in a spectrum, that you are going to be getting benefits from multiple disciplines or multiple areas when you're matching load and appropriate reps with the exercises that you're doing. Just know that it's a good starting point, but if you're someone who's truly trying to take their strength, power, speed, and athletic ability to the next level, and you're looking for a program, you need to have someone who understands these nuances and understands the differences, and so they can appropriately allocate the time, attention, and effort into certain exercises to help you get that way. Coach Nick out.